One of the most difficult things is to know where to start, where you actually put the first. Once you've got the first paint on, it starts to go quite easily. This painting at the moment, I don't expect you can see it very well, but it's going to be a sketch, be a painting of Port Howard from Pax Port Howard. I've got this painting here, which I've really just about finished. I don't like it. I spent too much time on the stone and not enough on the whole composition of the picture. I was in the UK, when I was on council, I was in the UK, and I had about two big meetings, about 2 weeks apart, and there's no point in flying back. So I decided I was going to take some sort of holiday, and I didn't fancy sitting on a beach or anything like that. And I'd always hankered to have a go at watercolour painting. So I wrote off to all the people who had painting holidays in the south of France, because I thought it'd be nice to see a bit of sun as well. And got this zany reply back from these people. And they seemed my sort of people, so I got on a train and went down, and the rest is history. One of the most important things is knowing when to stop. And really, I think it's time I stopped fiddling with this, because I can carry on putting paint on this picture, and in the end it'll just finish up a sort of muddy picture. So I think I'll stop. But the main thing is to try and limit the amount of colours that you're using so that the picture all holds together. Because when we're looking at things, we're only actually seeing things in terms of red, yellow and blue. And all the rest is different shades, different mixtures of these colours. And trying to keep them in your painting as close together and as few colours as possible is, in my opinion, the way to go. It seems to work quite well. Most of my paintings don't use more than 5 colours at the most. And most of the paintings are done with 3 or 4, with just a few colours put in later on. Always make sure you've got enough paint mixed. If you're doing something like a sky, you want a considerable amount of paint. I like ultramarine because it does all sorts of interesting things and you mix it with other colours. With the distant hills you can run over, but closer ones where you've got a sharp edge you don't really want to get your blue into. Something a lot of people don't observe is that the blue sky is always bluer, higher in the sky, and as it goes away into the distance, it fades away. So in the distance, your blue sky is really quite pale. You'll find on my palette here, I mix the colour. I don't mix them all together, I keep them separate. So if I find the colour that I want, I can actually just pick it out. I often find that when I'm doing things like this, I'll do them quite a few times and then I'll wipe stuff off just to... I spend more money on kitchen roll than I spend on paint. If you look in the distance frequently, you'll find that the colours are different and it just makes the painting more interesting if you... Well, I've done ships and that sort of thing. Wrecked. I'm quite well known for my shipwrecks. And the lighthouse has been painted many, many times. I get more requests for pictures of the lighthouse than anything, I think. I'm putting my base colours in. My next thing will be, it's the underlying colour. When you look at something, there's an underlying colour. And you put the palest colour that you have down first. Ideally, you want your whites, you don't want to paint white, you want to put your whites in there all the time. So you just leave the white of your paper, which is the white. In the distance, there are the hills. So it's going to be, this is all fairly quick, but there's going to be quite a bit of time taken over all this in here. You spend a lot of time just thinking about, I think I spend as much time thinking about what I'm doing than actually putting paint on the page.